So I wanted to do an update for my messy as fuck apartment. Mold wise, I think it's getting better. I don't feel there's a ton of mold in this apartment. There are some problem areas because of the circumstances of general apartments. It just happens. I don't want to breathe in from like kitchen sink and stuff like that, like common sense. So when I don't breathe in mold spores, I stop having foamy urine, which you're not supposed to have anyways. I think it's a histamine reaction, whatever it is. Unless I get exposed to mold outside, I don't get exposed regularly, and I think it's getting better. And since my gut is doing better, I don't think it's doing great, but it's getting better anyway. And my MCS symptoms are not very noticeable anymore. Like, I go outside with 2 layers of masks on, just precautionary response, I guess. But yeah, I wear those, but I don't react very much. I still smell artificial fragrances, and it's kind of disgusting, but I'm not reacting, I'm not panicking, I'm not really paying attention as much, which is great. What happened like 2 weeks ago was like I all of a sudden had like a vertigo. I ended up in ER, and there I threw up like 3 times. Let me share some interesting experience with the ER. This is my second time like going in there. Not the same hospital, but going into ER. This is my second time. Once it was mold plus fragrances, but last time it wasn't that. I knew because my reactions weren't the same. The symptoms were totally different. It was vertigo and throwing up, which I never had in an acute form like that. I was like, there's something wrong. Anyways, I talked to the ambulance people that I had mold sickness, and I could not tolerate a lot of mold. Despite that, they they sent me to a hospital that was built in like the 40s or something, 40s, 50s, like super old and super like poorly taken care of. And as soon as I got in there, I was like, oh, it's over. Like I could see mold on the ceiling, and I was like being in like a wheelchair, and they were carrying me around, and instantly I threw up because the air is shit, and they're just like carrying me around on wheels, and I just couldn't. And then like I couldn't believe what I heard from the nurses, like multiples of them. They were like, how dare you throw up on the floor? Which was like, I looked down, it was like made out of carpet. Like, who has a hospital made out of carpet? Like, oh, you wouldn't throw up on the floor in your own house. Why would you do that here? I was like, what the hell am I hearing? Because like I told the ambulance people that I was feeling sick, I was having nausea. That was very clear, but they never handed me like a bag or anything like that. So like, if I wanted to throw up, like what was I supposed to do? Like hold it in? That's sick. Yeah, the hospital was like a literal hell. Like, I don't know why it exists in Japan, but this is just a system that we have in Japan. We get like taken away tax money, like that, which goes into the hospital system, which I never get to choose. I never get to choose like a better quality hospital. I just get sent to some like random place that doesn't serve my health. And I got like some saline IV drip, but I don't even trust it. Like I still have like a really bad bruise from that IV, and the nurses are super mean. I don't understand. I'm pretty angry about the experience, but anyways, that was what happened. I was like wondering what caused the nausea and like this whole sickness. It's gotten better, but it lasted pretty much like 2 weeks. The vertigo was like the most severe on the first day, and the next day I couldn't really walk properly. Like it was like I was still like dizzy, and I couldn't stand up properly, walk properly. It was horrible. I couldn't do anything. So I had my mom over to cook for me and stuff like that. and it gradually gotten better. And what worked for me the best was this activator method, chiropractic, whatever. So I went there twice, and it significantly like made my symptoms better. Like I was less dizzy, and on the first day I was like kind of tiptoed dizzy when I first visited the place on the way on the train, because if I took a taxi I would have probably thrown up again. So yeah, I went there with my mom, and I was like super, like I was walking like a drunk person basically, but on the way home I was walking more properly. I still had like dizziness, but it was definitely significantly alleviated. And I concluded what was happening was like, so the chiropractor told me that I had like some nervous system problem, which is understandable because I had like mold attacks over and over, and I had the stress from moving and everything. But I was like, what the hell triggered it? Because, you know, I don't think I was like acutely stressed like that all of a sudden. I was doing totally fine in the morning, totally fine the day before. It was just abrupt. And I figured it was coming from the noise that was coming from my neighborhood. So the place next door is under construction, and it has this like cranes and everything, the big cars, and they're just digging holes in everything. So it's making a lot of noise, the low frequency kind, which never affected me before. You know, that's why I was never paying attention to it. I was just doing fine. I was just working, and all of a sudden it just hit me like crazy. So yeah, I think that's what was affecting me, and it's still going on, and I'm doing fine because thanks to the activator thing, I think. So it's gotten better, and I'm not doing terrible. It's just annoying and kind of concerning, but I don't think it's a problem anymore. I'm still going to that chiropractor place, but the problem is that in their office they have mold. So every time I go there, I do react to mold. It's not like, it's not bad to an extent where I start panicking, but it's pretty bad. I will get joint pain and stuff, so it's not good. So I'm thinking to quit going, because it doesn't help me, and it has helped me with regards to vertigo. So that's gotten better. I think I'm like switching to another office where they might have less mold, which I'm not sure of. But yeah, I can try that and see what happens.